Get ready for another microdose. And hey, if this information is jiving with you, then check out the full episode. The link is in the show notes. Enjoy the ride. Well, I just have one, thing. I just want to go back to failure, and I would love to what are some of your effective strategies for dealing with failure? I mean, because, that is part, if you want to really achieve anything, and achieve in this whole grit kind of thing, we're going to fail. We're going to fall down and fail many, many, many times. So what are some effective strategies that you might, help our audience, find or to kind of move through and failure, please?
So I think I'll have to think through to answer this one, because I can talk about it from a very meditative point of view. So for me, whenever I failed, and I have failed like quite a bit in my life, and I think one of the most effective strategies for me per se has been the acceptance, the radical acceptance of what is in that moment. Like, often we keep on, sometimes the failures literally, so the first thing is like there is a lot of, what's the word? The avoidance, No, yeah. I haven't failed. There's still a way through. I can still make it, But acceptance is not there. So just having that radical acceptance, just meditating on it, meditating on the whole process itself for me has been a very liberating process in, first of all, accepting my failure, and then moving on from that failure, moving on and taking that next step, because often we are stuck in that moment where we failed, and we can't take that next step to move on and to take another risk, to take another chance. And in those moments, I think a very effective strategy, once you've done that radical acceptance, is affirmations.
Okay, great.
Constantly identifying yourself as somebody who can do it, like not like in a gritty sense, but who identifying yourself to be that person and affirming that to yourself. I'm positive. I can achieve this, or I'm optimistic, because often we fall into the quagmire of pessimism once we failed multiple times and we are not able to rise from there. And it sort of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because we are already sitting in a pessimistic place. And when we move forward from there, we become that person again. But if you keep on affirming that kind of helps. So those are two effective strategies. There's a beautiful meditation also that I do, which I can share a little bit. It's basically imagining your future self, or whoever you want to be. It could be a personal transformation. It could be a professional transformation, but imagining yourself sitting on top of that hill as a person. And then your current self at the base of the mountain. And then you sit with what it's going to take to get there. So just sitting with that process itself, and what are the systems that you're going to create to be that future self. That meditation itself is very powerful in, helping you overcome your failure.
Yeah. It'll help you see that higher self continually.
Yes.
Instead of like, and we're talking about feelings, instead of being consumed by the feelings of failure, which when a lot of them, it's just like, okay, well, hell yeah. And again, without failure, we could not succeed. But again, there is no failure if we are taking that failure, learning from it, kind of recycling it into something that's positive with the affirmations and the meditations. Or, I like to, talk to some people that I really love and admire, and who also have done their own work, and they have achieved and they are successful in their life, and talk about where I could have done things a little bit better, or, how I could have done things a little bit better, and reaching out. Or journaling has been, a big way for me to kind of get to that more, affirmation kind of mindset, and moving forward in a positive direction. But being being very strategic, by calculating, oh, well, that didn't work at all with that little piece of failure I just had, but how can I, use that knowledge? It's just knowledge, really. What failure is, it's an opportunity for growth, and then you can move forward with that. So thanks for sharing that.
No, I think journaling is an excellent tool. I personally don't journal so much because, though I ask people to journal if they like it. It's different for different people. I also use a technique called reflection, wherein you sit at the end of the day, and which is like a mental journaling sort of. It's not like you're not writing down. So you actually mentally go down the memory lane of your whole day and start with the time you wake up and, go through your life as like a witness, as an observer. So it's sort of also, it's again a great practice actually now when I think of it, for failure, because you start to separate yourself from your failure. So once you're observing all of that, you're like, okay, that's not me. I'm just an observer. I'm like, so you can, once you separate, again, you can do the mental journaling or you can do the written journaling, but that kind of is a great strategy to actually separate and be a witness of your life, which is what technically we are trying to do, separate ourselves from.
Yeah. Well, I know. It's like, we're separated. So a failure is just an event that happens in our life. It's not, I'm not a failure. It's just an event. You know what I mean? And I think, that is a wonderful distinction. Thank you. And I don't have to, live the feelings of failure because I had a failing moment, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Excellent.
And then coming back to what you said, Will, before, the only way out is through, and taking a look at that failure and coming out as a success, or someone who is not a failure. You have to go through that. You have to go through it. You have to take a look at it. And what did you learn from it? Hey, thanks for joining us on this journey. Small doses lead to big changes. If you're vibing with this snippet, then take a listen to the full episode by clicking the link in the show notes. If you would like to plug in deeper to what we're doing, head to mentalkingmindfulness.com or text MTM to 33777. Until next time, peace.